Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity just to spend a few minutes with you to present to you this amazing opportunity to invest in Gulshan Farms. What's on the table for you is for you to consider buying a share in the farm or multiple shares. We have 19 shares available to buy. Each share is valued at $40,000, and you might be wondering, why are we talking in USD? The reason is because the dairy sector across the world is always talked about and referred to in the US dollar. So if you're in the UK or anywhere else in the world, please use online calculators to make any conversions that you may feel are helpful. So we are selling 19 shares of a total of 49. So the majority have been sold to our current investors and shareholders. And we are coming to you now with this opportunity at an amazing time for you to consider. And I expect that, this will really will present itself. I wanted to take a few minutes of your time to give you a high level overview of the farm and what we're offering you. And hopefully in the next 10 minutes or so, you'll have a really good idea about what's on the table for you to consider. It will just hopefully inspire some interest. If you're interested, please come back to us in the ways I'll talk about in a few seconds. We can then have more detailed conversations. And then hopefully once you're happy, we'd love to invite you to become a shareholder at Gulshan Farms. So in terms of what we are, so Gulshan Farms is a breeding farm. So we're a dairy farm. So we obviously have cattle that we import from Australia. So these are very high quality pedigree animals of the highest quality with the highest genetics, and we bring them to Pakistan, and we are breeding this farm in order to raise our herd size to a goal of 1,000 milking animals. We are currently standing at 350 animals to 400. This time next year, we will have hopefully 550 animals on the farm. So we're an established entity, and we are growing our farm to get to a point of 1,000 milking animals, at which point in 2029 and 30, we will sell between 300 and 350 animals every year in order to raise the revenue and the profits for our shareholders. So each share is likely to generate between $11,000 to $15,000 every single year as passive income for our shareholders. So very simple, but simplicity is often a virtue when it comes to investment, and we are at the moment just growing our herd size to that point. A little bit about the state of the farm in terms of its finances. We are, as I said, are an established entity. We have 350 animals, so we're already a very large farm, and by the time we reach our goal in 29-30, we will be among the 1 or 2% top percentile of corporate farms in Pakistan. We have our current assets are already worth about $3 million, which includes the animals themselves, plus the farm, the land, and the infrastructure. And when you buy a share in Gulshan Farms, each share is the equivalent of 1% ownership of the whole farm, all of the animals, all of its infrastructure, and everything it owns, plus some amazing subsidiary companies like we have a contract with Genetics Australia in order to distribute their genetics in the Punjab area. So our sister company called Gulshan Genetics is also included in this investment. So you have a really, really amazing opportunity to take advantage of at this stage in time. A little bit about our company. The company started in 2021 as a brainchild and a small project at the time of Muhammad Jafar Hassan, who is somebody who is the CEO of the farm, a very intelligent entrepreneur, and he had a vision and a dream to bring high quality genetic led and driven farming to Pakistan. Initially at the time, they built their first shed in 2021, which is still standing, but in comparison to what we're building now seems very modest. And I got involved in probably 2021, early 21, mid 21. And at that point, we started to realize actually there's a massive opportunity for us to really open this up to the world, bring other people that might want to join us on this journey as investors. And that's when the trajectory of the farm really got ramped up. We were able to do a lot more very quickly. So over the last 3 years, which has gone like that, we have done a massive amount. We are currently, as we speak, building our next 2 large sheds, which should hold about 400 animals each. We are building a bio plant in order to convert the raw manure of the animals into usable fuel that we can use and sell. So it's such an exciting time. Whenever I go to Pakistan once or twice a year, I'm always astounded at how much has been done. So you're very lucky to be able to join us on this journey at this moment in time. So looking for the future, we're in 2024. We've got another 4 or 5 years to go grow our herd to the point where we are going to be in a situation where we're able to sell our animals to the market. So in terms of our business model, I've already spoken about the revenue in terms of selling the animals. A little bit about another passion of ours which goes side in side with what we're doing, which is to change the whole dynamic of dairy farming in Pakistan. Pakistan, for most of us who live there or have a connection to it, you'll know, is a very high consuming dairy country. Pakistan is the 5th highest consumer of milk across the world. So the demand is massive, but the supply is poultry, pardon the pun. In that, we have the most recent census in Pakistan dairy said that between 60 to 70% of the milk provided in Pakistan is still being provided by small farmers that have between 2 and 5 animals. Can you believe it? So really what we're trying to do with our farm and with educating other farmers and friends about this journey is let's change that. Let's bring the best of genetics, the best of modern farming technology and knowledge, and let's change the landscape of farming in Pakistan. So I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes with you going through the detailed figures so that you can really understand how valuable this opportunity is. So this chart in front of you shows the different ways that you can financially benefit from making this investment. So you've got along the bottom here, you've got the years starting in 2024 going all the way to 2031 or 32. And on the left hand side, what we can see how much money you will get, and this is just dividend income. So that means money in your pocket every year as passive income. So just concentrate on the green for a second. The green represents how much money you should be expecting every year if you were to invest today. So in 2024-25, we're not giving any money back because all that money is being used in order to grow the farm. In 2026, we expect to give our first returns, and it won't be much. It'll be less than £1,000, but it's something that comes back to you. So your $40,000 is starting to give you a return on investment. In 2027, that will increase slightly. In 2028, we're again increasing. 2029, we're getting to about $6,000. So a considerable return on investment. And then once we've reached our target of 2030, 31 and onwards, when we've reached our farm growth target of 10,000 animals, we expect to give a return in terms of cash injection, in terms of a dividend income, in terms of passive income of between £8,000 to £11,000 every single, £8,000 to £11,000 every single year. That's between $11,000 and $15,000 every single year to you as an investor, as a shareholder. That would be more than a 32% return on investment every single year. How amazing is that? But that's not all. The red part of the bar chart represents your share value. So the share that you're buying today for $40,000, like a UK property where you get rental income and you get capital gains, you get a capital appreciation of your property. When you buy a share in Gulshan Farms, not only are you getting a dividend income, your share value is also increasing every single year. And when we get to a point in 2029-30, if you were to come to the market at that point and want to sell your share, we are confident that you'll be able to sell your share for more than $100,000 at that point. How amazing is that? So not only are you getting this passive income, you have the confidence of knowing that if you needed more money and you wanted to sell your share, you could go to the market and sell it for $100,000, and people would buy immediately because of the immediate return on investment that you're offering them. So that's just one chart. Now, some of you might be thinking about alternative options for investment, and I wanted to sort of compare Gulshan Farms to the two most common types of investment for people that are in this field. The first is potentially buying a property, and I've looked at the UK property market and I'm putting myself in your shoes. So I've got $40,000 or the equivalent in pounds of about £30,000. Can I buy a UK property with that? And what will that look like compared to Gulshan Farms? And if you can look at the black line here, this chart is just talking about what profit your capital would give you. So if you took your $40,000 and you put it in a UK property, how much profit would come back to you in your pocket every year? So assuming that you get a 6% return, which is the average UK return on investment in a UK property, you would get a stable straight line, as you can see, of about £2,000 every single year in terms of profit. So your £30,000, $40,000 would give you a profit of £2,000 every year in your pocket as a reward. The S&P 500 is a way of investing in the US stock market, and it tracks the 500 best performing companies, including Apple and the like. So if you were to take your $40,000 in 2024 and put it in the S&P 500 and leave it there for 10 years, allowing for the profit to be reinvested and get compound interest, compound benefit, your profit would eventually, at the end of the 10 years, be just shy of £8,000. That's what your profit would be in terms of your pocket. If we look, however, at Gulshan Farms, even though as we're growing, we're not returning very much up until 2027, as you can see, when we reach our target in 29-30, you sustainably will get as a dividend income between $10,000 and $8,000 every single year. And that's going to go on forever. So that's sustainable, predictable. Nothing's going to change that, bar a natural disaster. And the reason it's going up and down slightly, very slightly, is because every year we will sell between 300 and 350 animals. So depending if you sell more, you'll get more. If you sell slightly less, you'll get slightly less. So this chart hopefully will give you the reassurance to know that investing in Gulshan Farms is your best investment, even compared to the stock market or a UK property. This last slide is just it was something I wanted to put together to give you an idea of when we normally invest, there are certain virtues of investment, which I've called it investment virtues. And that's this left side column. And it goes through what people normally want from an investment. So usually, obviously, we want high returns compared to low returns. We want low risk compared to high risk. We want it to be ethical and not non-ethical. We ideally want it to be liquid. In other words, we want to be able to access our money whenever we want to. So investments vary in these virtues. And what I've done here is I've compared the three. And I've shown you here Gulshan Farms is outperforming the other two in almost every category. So green is the golden standard of that virtue. And all of the green ones are where Gulshan Farm sits. Obviously, in terms of liquidity, that's how quickly you can get your money back. You can't just come tomorrow and say, I want all my money back, because you've invested it. So we can't just give your money back, but you can sell it if you wanted to, but it might take a little bit longer. And in terms of the time horizon, you have to wait 3 or 4 years. Now, that's not a long time when it comes to investing traditionally, but unfortunately, we're living in a time where people know about Bitcoin and they think they can just invest today and become a millionaire tomorrow. So if that's your mindset, you might think it's a long-term investment, but it actually isn't that long. It's only a few more years we have to wait before we start to see and reap the rewards of this investment. So if that has interested you, and I hope you've enjoyed that presentation, I'd love for you to go to the website if you're not already there. Read through the information we've put on there for you. There is a very detailed pack brochure that we've put together, which should really satisfy those of you who really want to dig into the details. Please read that. When you're interested and you want to have a conversation, book an appointment on the website with myself and with Muhammad Jafar Hassan, who is our CEO. We'll spend some time together over a Zoom call. We can meet in person in a lovely meeting room in David Lloyd's gym in Solihull if you're local. Otherwise, we can meet online. We'll spend some time together. We'll reassure you about the investment, answer any of your questions, and then if you're still happy and you want to invest, we would love to invite you to joining the rest of our investors and our shareholders on this last leg of this amazing journey. So please share this with people that you feel might be interested. We'd love to speak to you and meet you soon. Thank you for taking the time out. We'll speak to you soon.